Yay! That's a happy song. From the morning to the ocean, moving to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the river to the leeward side. Mama in the kitchen cooking dinner real nice. Beef stew on the stove, lonely 7 guys. We eat and drink and we sing all day. Kind of copy in the old Hawaiian way on the island. We do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. We go grandma's house on the weekend clean yard. If we don't go, grandma gotta work hard. You know my grandma, she like to pour real sour. I love my grandma every minute if we are on the island. We do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. This past year was the 25th anniversary of when I released this album. We did a tour a few months back. It was good fun. Played a lot of the songs for the album. Never get tired of hearing the stories from people. You know, oh my God, I heard that song when the first time I came to Hawaii. I heard that song. It's been our song ever since. Or, you know, this, I get them all the time. Starts, we're doing this like promotional documentary thing or something before we did the tour. And we're going through this stuff, and we had actually a couple of people I put out on social media if anybody had stories to tell about it, you know, special things that, you know, we'd like to get them filming it or send it in. So a few people came by, we filmed them. And the guy who was actually running the camera when we were through shooting that day said, you know, I got a story about that. Told this great story, you know, told me a great story. We should have been filming him while he was telling me this story because it would have been great for the, anyway, special song for people. I remember the first time I played this song for my dad. I sat him down and said, Dad, when you hear the song? Playing the song, he goes, that's a house. I should have bought the house, you know what I mean? Instead, I was like buying everybody everything. And, you know, that was that. Yeah. Well, my dad kept telling me, he kept telling me until he passed actually a few years back. He said, well, you can still get that house. Every time you play, you ask for a house, somebody's gonna give you one, so. Not for my dad, for, you know, anybody got an extra house, you know, there's something you're not using, you know, kind of been, you know, carrying that weight, just let me know after the show, we can have it after the show. Okay, where was I? Homeless, no, okay. But yeah, and it's funny because I wrote a song about cleaning my grandma's yard, which is actually not altogether true because when we were young, my mom and dad split up. So like when, you know, the dust settled, that's another story. But a few times in my life early on, we had to go live with my grandma, you know, during these transitional periods. Mom and the kids show up at grandma's house. So weekend, you know, Saturday morning, get outside and help your grandma clean yard. Because my grandma was like a, you know, OCD with cleaning the yard, you know, gotta clean the yard. And we knew that it would be, you know, okay, I'm gonna go outside and help grandma clean yard. We knew it wouldn't last long because grandma had a very particular way of cleaning yard, you know. All this size rocks go in this pile, coconut leaves go in that pile, mango leaves go in that pile, you know, like real particular. And so we'd be out there helping grandma clean yard, knowing full well that grandma's going, you get in the house, you don't know how to clean yard. Go back in the house, turn on the cartoons, you know. So I wrote a song about it. My brother Guy used to show up every once in a while when we were adults. He'd show up at my grandma's house with a chainsaw, cut down some big branches and just fill it like, and he'd dig out, you know, he wouldn't clean up the branches or anything. But my brother Ernie was smart. He paid a Filipinos to clean the yard, you know, so it'd get done and everything would be perfect. Okay. Oh yeah. So then after singing the song for a while, people used to come up to me and share verses. You know, they wrote a verse for the song. Everybody would have their own verses. Like, you know, I mean, it would be like, me and my father, we was going down the beach, whatever it was, right? People used to show up at shows and like have their verses written. Sing this one, you know, and so it was like, it got to be a thing, you know. I'd get people up to help, you know, they'd sing their verse during the middle of the song and stuff. So I thought it'd be good if I wrote another verse, and I did. So it goes like this. I used to live for a long time when I was small. Used to hang out down the beach at the Waikiki wall. I moved to Wamanawa, shit, I had to change school, cause my mother got remarried to this Filipino guy. True story. But then it got to be, people would come up and like, you know, they'd be like, he's singing my verse. No, I drove all the way from Redwood City, you know, whatever, but so we stopped that. Yeah. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side. Aha. So then, when my mom and dad actually broke up and everything was done, when the dust settled, my dad got custody of us 5 boys, right? So I was like, oh, okay, so we had to go move to the Big Island with my dad, 5 boys. And right before we moved, projects that I grew up in, everybody caught ukus, which are head lice, right? So the whole neighborhood. So, and we were, you know, little kids. We were surfers when we were small, and so shaved bald, 5 little bald kids. We were like 4, 6, 7, 9, and 11. Getting on the plane, you know. Felt like we were being sentenced to go live with my dad. My dad and his new 21-year-old wife. So we got over there and it was like pretty depressing. We weren't in Hilo, we were on the outskirts of Hilo, the very outskirts of Hilo. You know Hilo, it's slow over there. Well, one of my dad's friends at the time, he used to have all his friends, you know, would hang out around at the house, drinking, playing music, whatever. And the one was like, hey boy, no worry, up here, only get 2 cups. He tells me, oh, okay. I didn't know what he meant, you know, what he was talking about. I know what he's talking about now. I know what he's talking about now for sure. I ain't getting very far, hanging out in bars, sleeping in most of the day. Can't wait for resurrection, all those little men from Mars. Time is running out, I've got to get away. I'm losing my mind and wasting my time. A friend gave me a call, said let's go out in the country where the law can't touch us at all. Out in the country where the law can't touch us. Stevie, I pulled over, driving down the road, landed his ass in jail. Took him downtown just for being brown. My baby's like $25 for bail. Johnny said, oh, I know a place we can go where at night you hear the wild thing call. Way out in the country where the law can't touch us at all. Way out in the country where the law can't touch us. Darling Sarah, don't you worry for me. I've gotta get out, fighting for my sin. Where I'm headed, I might end up in jail. Come on with me, honey. We don't need no money. Way out in the country where the law can't touch us at all. Stuck in a rut, you know I just can't get enough. Sometimes I wish I could just take five. Got some pounds to make a buck, yeah, I'm running out of luck. Searching what it takes to keep my soul alive. Losing my mind, wasting my time. A friend gave me a call. Hey, let's go out in the country, way out in the country. Hey, let's go out in the country where the law can't touch us at all. Trying to take me down. Out in the country where the law can't touch us. They follow me around. Come on with me, honey, we don't need no money. I gotta get out of town, yeah. Hey, where the law can't touch us. Out in the country where the law can't touch us at all. That's always the hope.